Hi guys, and welcome to the Rotherham vs Sunderland match review. Now, you've probably read the title of this video and expected me to just rant rave and go mental about how poor Sunderland are or how poor Sunderland were, which I probably will get into a little bit later on. But before I do get into that, I do want to give some credit to Rotherham. Yes, I think our first half performance was arguably the worst performance we've given in terms of a 45-minute performance. It's probably the worst I've seen so far this season, and by quite some distance as well. But I don't want to shy away from giving Rotherham credit for that. You know, I don't want it to come across as we just simply made it easy for Rotherham, which we did in to an extent. But Rotherham's performance and Rotherham's attitude and their will and their want and their desire made it incredibly difficult for us to do anything we wanted to in that first half. So I need to give them the credit. I don't want to detract from their performance in that first half, because they were excellent. They were outstanding, in fact, particularly in that first half, as I say, and made it very difficult for us, which in turn, we shied away and probably produced the worst performance I've seen this season in terms of 45 minutes, as I say. So I do want to give them the credit. I don't want to sit here and say, something that A, B, C, D, and then just say that's why it was easy for Rotherham, because Rotherham were at it and we weren't, and they were really at it in that first half. But getting into it, we knew we were expecting changes. Tony Mowbray said that he was going to make a couple of changes. Sirkin in place of Leicester. You had 09 played it right back. So you had, of course, a back four of Sirkin, Bart, Bollard, 09. You had Mishu and Neil in the middle. Then you had Pritchard, Clark and Diallo behind Gelhardt. Then in the first half, it really was, as I did allude to, it was a case of who had most will, want and desire. And we were no way near the levels that Rotherham were at. They were, which, it's unforgivable for one. That they were keeping a really high tempo, the really high press, weren't allowing us to move the ball as we'd like to. But the thing that was pissing me off the most was seeing players duck out of challenges, not go in for the second ball, laziness off the ball. And I get it that this team is heavily fatigued at the moment. It's a young squad. I'm not expecting us to win every game or play amazingly every single game. But the bare minimum I expect of players to put their bodies on the line in 50-50s, don't be dangling footing and then ducking out last minute. And I've seen that constantly with like Mishu and Daniel in the middle, who were getting absolutely bullied. There was no physicality. The lads they didn't like the physical game of Rotherham, and that's not to say they weren't playing any decent football, because at times they were. But we just seemed really, really poor. Really poor. The one thing that I will give in terms of that first half is, 09 for one, our only sort of outlet at times, 09, although I think defensively, particularly for their goal, the first goal, he was horrendous all over the place, Luke 09, as were other players. But the one sort of outlet we did have is every now and then getting down that right-hand side, he was playing early crosses in. And it was the first time in the first game that I thought, oh my God, Gelhardt could score here, despite us playing shit, because the quality and the level of 09's crosses coming in were really, really good. They were dangerous balls that were just coming away from the goalkeeper, out swingers, coming away from the goalkeeper, and it was putting in these really dangerous balls, which I'm going to come back to later on, which there's a reason I bring it up. But yeah, they score, we lose it in the middle really, really cheaply for the millionth time already in that game, and then Rathbone breaks forward. We've got three players there. I think, we've got 09, Mishu, and a centre-back as well, which was backing away. No one was challenging. He's got the world to do still, but he struck it from distance and he's gone to the bottom corner. Patterson could arguably do better, but it's a good strike. Gets off the surface, but no one's challenging. It was a lazy performance in that first half. But yeah, so we did have a goal ruled out. One of a couple of goals that we had ruled out. But we did find the back of the net through Gelhardt, which was disallowed. He was offside, to be fair. Another ball in, finds Gelhardt and he tucks it away. He's offside. Fair enough, frustrating, but the warning signs were there. We're starting to get into it a little bit here and there, and we're starting to get crosses in the box, which is something I am going to get into. When we have the likes of Diallo, Roberts and Hume, although they play the pretty football on the triangles on the right-hand side, my biggest frustration, I've mentioned it before in other videos, is that they refuse to put the ball in the box. They are so desperate to play this fancy football and walk the ball into the back of the net when just get the ball in the box. Sometimes you do need to just fizz a ball in the box, and they refuse to do that, but 09 was doing it consistently. But anyway, second half, as I say, we had the goal ruled out, and they've gone straight up the other end, and they've scored. It's on the break, shocking defending again, and 2-0. So I thought that was it. It's at least, they deserved it with the way they were playing. They were structured, well ran, disciplined, and like I say, the press was fantastic. Didn't allow us to play our game. But we did get one back pretty quickly, and it was Gelhardt, and it was from an incredible, a fantastic cross from Luke O'Nien. Again, early cross, finds Gelhardt, and he sticks it in the back of the net. Fantastic to make it 2-1. And then Tony Mowbray, although we should have made changes at half-time anyway, let's be real, because that was a shite performance in the first half. But then, I understand why this change was made, but the one attacking threat we're having, and the only decent quality cross we get in the box was from O'Nien. The second we score that goal, he gets chucked into centre-half, which again, I know that's where he's been playing, but it was our only threat to Rotherham, and then that was removed, and chucked O'Nien at centre-back. And then we brought the usual suspects on, to do the little triangles in the corner. Which, again, it's pretty when it comes off, but when it doesn't, it's so frustrating, particularly when we found a way to hurt Rotherham, and then we completely eradicated it by taking Luke O'Nien and sticking him in centre-back, which it frustrated me. But the second half performance, again, it gradually did improve, despite the frustration of Luke O'Nien moving. And again, I do understand it. I know other people might disagree with me, but I was just finding that our main chances are only, when there's nothing really going on in the middle, not too much movement, he was putting really good quality crosses in the box for people to get onto, and then as soon as it actually come off, he got moved away. So that was just a bit of a frustration from me, or for me, should I say. But yeah, Diallo, poor game, again for me. I think he's been poor quite a lot recently. I think when him and Roberts on the pitch, they start to gel well, but other than that, when he's on the pitch by himself, he comes across as a bit of a brat. When things are going away, he's kind of huffing and puffing to himself, and I get it, he wants his mate on the pitch with him, but sometimes you have to play a bit differently. Roberts come on, absolutely shown his quality straight away. Immediately he was making an impact, making chances, and he was running the show, and his quality was just there for everyone to see. He was just shining through, and he shouldn't be on the bench, that lad. But again, I understand we need to chop and change players due to fatigue and giving others opportunities as well. But yeah, so second half we performed better. Still wasn't great. Performed better. We did make chances. Gelhardt had a good 2-3 throughout the game. Some really chances that he should be putting away. But we're a scramble towards the back end of the game where it did fall to Gelhardt, point blank range, he's hit the legs of the keeper. But then the really frustrating one, right at the death. Again, Pato's going up for corners and what have you. Right at the death, a ball is put into the box, right? Luke O'Nien's gone for it. Their keeper is literally not even gone for the ball. He's gone for O'Nien. He's tried to hit O'Nien from the back, and O'Nien sort of clattered him. But their keeper has initiated this contact. He's obviously completely fumbled the ball. It's fell for Alessi, back to goal, on the spin, and it's hit in the back of the net with about 10 seconds left in sort of 4 or 5 minutes of injury time. But the referee's blown up because the goalkeepers get the benefit of the doubt. They get the advantage, and I get why sometimes, because they can get impeded, but the keeper initiated it, and even after that, he was still diving about the place. So it wasn't like he was hurt, he was still diving about the place, but then as soon as he heard the whistles, that's rolling around like he's been sniped. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like we were robbed, despite a shite first half performance, a marginally improved second. I think we were robbed in the end. I think we were absolutely robbed, and the EFL officials, this referee was supposed to be Premier League standard, and that was shocking, absolutely shocking. It was far too soft. As soon as you see anyone going up to the keeper, the referees, all of them, in fairness, they always have the whistle in the mouth already. They're waiting to blow the whistle because no one can go anywhere near a goalkeeper. And it's just so inconsistent with what you can and can't do. So that was very, very frustrating. I don't think we deserved a point at all. But to say that it was taken away from us when it probably should have been a point, that's very, very frustrating. Coventry this weekend, it's a really difficult game. We need to book our ideas up, go back to the drawing board. Roberts needs to start, despite, there might be issues with fitness or what have you, but we need to start Roberts. Again, as soon as he comes on the pitch, we look at such a better team. Pritchard, for me, I really like Pritchard because he's one of the only players we do have. He's quite direct with putting the ball in behind, and he goes down the centre, whereas everyone else, Clark, I know he likes to cut in from left to right or go to the byline. You've got Hume, Diallo and Roberts who like to do their triangles on the wing, but no one else seems to drift into the middle, whereas that's what Pritchard does. He wants the ball, he's trying to penetrate. He did it several times, he was trying it several times, although the final product wasn't good enough. But yeah, I think some players need chopping and changing again. Dan Neal's been off it for a while. Mishi was poor. I think a lot of the lads, they weren't good yesterday. They really, really weren't good. And Gelhardt, for me, yeah, he got his goal. I'm buzzing for him. I am buzzing for him. I don't want to get on his back, of course, this early. There's a few times, one thing I noticed, I know it's probably just due to lack of match sharpness or what have you, but there are a couple of times where it happened in a previous game as well, where he'll sort of hold his run really well when we get the ball to byline, but then he'll be shocked when it comes to him and he's like, oh shit, and then he'll panic, and then rather than being ready to the first time, he'll have to take such a shit, and then he'll fumble it away, or it'll get nicked away from him. So he'll make the run, he'll put himself in a great position, but then when he finds him, that shits himself, like, oh shit, I didn't expect it to come to me. You need to be sharp, you need to, it's happened a good 2 or 3 times. It was frustrating me last night. I was fucking screaming at the points last night. So I think it did get to him a couple of times where, we'd be going down one side, and he'd hold his run really well, and he'd come back to him, and then he'd absolutely shit himself. He'd be shocked that the ball's been given to him. So it loses that half a yard, it loses that sort of half a second on the ball to quickly snap a shot. Do you know what I mean? But either way, I'm glad he's got his goal. I hope that gives him a bit of confidence to keep going, because you can see his quality in there somewhere. And again, I'm not going to write him off this early, but I'd like to see a bit more from him. And I think when you're putting balls in the box, actually crossing the ball, he was showing his danger, his movement and his positional awareness was very, very good. It's just his finished product. We had a chance where another great ball from the right-hand side, and I think it was from Roberts. It did find him, and it was point-blank range again, completely free header, and it was very, very soft and easy for the keeper to save. We did make chances. Bollard had a free header, he lost his man, free header, and he's put it wide of goal. So we did make the chances. The chances were there. I think in general, our attitude at times wasn't there. Our passion wasn't there. Our determination just didn't even nearly match Rotherham's, and you need to give Rotherham that, and we need to really look at ourselves in the mirror. But it's a defeat. Again, I didn't expect us to be winning every single game, but I think it's a game that, before the game I would have expected a hell of a lot more from the lads, and we got handed shit, really. But that's it, guys. Currently in 8th, but it's not the end of the world, and I've seen a lot of people say, we're still overachieving as to what we sort of expected, which granted is right, but we can't be saying that every time we lose. We have got ourselves into a position now where we have set a standard for ourselves, and I don't want us to every time we lose or play shit like, right, okay, no, we're already doing all right now. We're already overachieved anyway, so it's okay. I'm not going to go absolutely mental until our season's over, of course not. But we set a standard. Let's not let that go off the boil. Do you know what I mean? So, we're currently in 8th. With a win, we could jump up to as high as 4th, depending on results. So it's not the absolute end of the world, but we need to pick up and be a lot better against Coventry. But that's it, guys. That's my review of the game. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed, hit the like button and subscribe if you're new to the channel. But for now, take care. Stay jammy.